Live with Meqa, who's very warm in
Hello.
Australia right now, while we're bundled up here in Nashville.
Yes,
Awesome.
boiling hot.
Meqa, I'm really excited to be doing this with you. You've been following
Me
along the
too.
Jaunt Boards journey for months now, being like one of
Hmm.
our biggest fans, honestly. Thank you so much for all.
Yep.
And here we are exploring how you might be able to use it. So, just to give some context for this hibachi session, what we're going to
Mhm.
do is allow you to verbally process the business you're trying to build, the services you're trying to provide, and have Fletcher do a little bit of hibachi magic, design magic in the background in real time to start to build your infrastructure. And maybe it won't be perfect by the end of the call, but it'll at least give you a vision on how you might be able to use jaunt boards and to get you a
Yep.
little bit of a head start. Does that sound good?
Sounds amazing.
Okay, awesome. All right, so who are you? What are you building?
So, I'm the founder of the Unforgettable Agency, which specializes in recruitment for founder-led businesses. So it wasn't always that way. It started out actually as like a brand strategy slash marketing strategy business, probably in 2015. And then fast forward to working with clients and finding out that, part of the problem that they were struggling with was finding the right people to actually help them to deliver on the promises they were making to their clients. And because my background is actually in HR management, I figured out, based on my own personal terrible experiences with recruitment, which I believe is completely broken, and all the work I've been doing, learning all the marketing stuff, a different way to recruit. So I started experimenting with it in 2017. Really didn't want to do that because I didn't want to be a recruiter. But then fast forward to 2020 when I sat down and looked at like, what is the thing that the most people ask me to do over and over again? And it was that thing. So I gave it a name in 2020 and it was called Hiring Hero. And it basically was a process that was designed to equip founders with a new way to go to market to attract, align with, and activate amazing people that were going to be a vision fit for their business. It turned out that I was hoping to try and like teach them how to do this process, but didn't really have all the collateral ready to kind of do that. So I ended up having to do it for them. Worked out really well. It's been, going from strength to strength. This year, we're going to double down on that focus on really helping businesses to find, like helping founders to find that perfect co-pilot for them using my methodology. But something that I'm really, really big on is I want to share this methodology, which I call inspiring. It's been designed to actually inspire people within the recruitment process, prime them for performance, build ride or die teams. So I want to share that methodology like as a standalone without anyone having to hire me, like with other founders and other progressive recruiters or TA teams. So I've developed some of my own collateral and stuff, but it's pretty messy, like it's a process in Trello. It's quite hard for people to sort of get through. And whenever when I first saw job boards, I was like, oh my God, this is what I need. This is awesome because it can create a really simple front end for everything. So fast forward to now, and I've kind of got a couple of projects in progress that I tried to sort of put in there, and I just know I'm doing it wrong. And hence, here we are.
Here we are. Amazing. Can I ask you a couple of questions for context?
Yeah,
When you say
absolutely.
you're focusing on helping founders find their co-pilot, how do you define a
Yes.
co-pilot? What types of founders are we talking about? Paint a picture of that landscape a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I call them visionary founders. And that really encompasses people who actually have a vision that they're working towards, but also that kind of personality type where you're a big picture person. You're all about the ideas and you can delegate and you can get other people to do a lot of stuff, but you really lose a lot of your energy when you're stuck in the day to day. So the co-pilot is, the entrepreneurial operating system. They have that rocket fuel book, which is about the visionary and the integrator. So the co-pilot is the integrator. It's the business manager, the practice manager, the chief of staff, the ops manager, the general manager, the CEO or the COO, depending on the size of your business and where you're at. That can actually help you manage the day-to-day stuff in your business so that you can step up and step out to really lead the business. Because ultimately, the kind of people that I work best with, they want to leave some kind of legacy that they're proud of. So I have a triangle, and it's about we want to make sure that everyone on our team loves their job. We want to create leverage through hiring so that you can step up and lead and really leave that legacy. So does that answer that question?
It does. Yeah, yeah. You gave me a really good list of what common job titles those might be. And the co-pilot, they could be an employee. We're not necessarily talking about a founder giving away equity for a co-founder, but maybe perhaps. You're talking about hiring the right person to execute your vision.
For sure. This is an employee, right? Like, depending upon your comp structure and how you do things, you may want to cut them in on some kind of shares or equity or something like that. But no, this is not a co-founder. Yeah. Very, very critical distinction. It is an employee.
Okay. And the founders that you're targeting, they're agency founders or they're startup founders, or what world are we zeroing?
Well, at this point, I haven't narrowed it all down because I've still been working with people in all sorts of different sectors. But I will say that moving forward, I would be focusing on working with agency founders, or at least service-based businesses like accounting firms or, other service-based professional services businesses.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, cool. Fletcher or James, do you guys have any high-level questions for Meqa before we start to get a little bit more in the weeds?
Yeah, no, nothing. I just kind of jumped in. Let me just share my screen so I'll kind of keep it shared the whole time. I went in and just filled out some of the base boilerplate stuff, have your logo in there, Unforgettable Agency, got the links to your website and LinkedIn, and just sort of did some general housekeeping to get you set and ready. So that's pretty quick. I did all that through this company settings tab right here. So I got your company name. You now also have a job board URL, vanity URL. So Unforgettable Agency is directly there. However, just to let you know, I see that your website is under construction, which is totally fine. You can obviously use this URL and broadcast that. People can come in, and we're going to start building out these, templates for you right now. But you can also actually embed your services onto your website. So you can go in, do embed board list, and then basically you'll be able to take this and then put it straight into your website. What's nice about that is a lot of times, agencies try to be nondescript or be as generic as they possibly can on their website because they know it's going to be out of sync in a couple months. But we let it so that you just manage your services. You're going to be managing your project services and case studies all within job boards. And obviously with that embed link, your services will always be up to date, most recent ones, and people can contact you through the platform as well. So anyway,
great. Love that.
While you were talking, I just kind of did some of that stuff for you. So now we're in a better starting point.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Okay, so I heard you mention a couple different things. You mentioned hiring hero. You mentioned inspiring. It sounds like as maybe what would be helpful is if we can narrow down one or two job boards that would be helpful to build out together. And maybe starting with, is this a service or a product?
So it is. What we're going to work on today is what I've basically distilled everything down to is the one-page recruitment plan. So that is the product that I would like to build to be able to share more widely with people who aren't going to work with me. So the problem is, if you want to work with me, it's going to be really expensive. And a lot of smaller businesses, they just don't have that money around. And plus, I don't think that a lot of them would actually need it, because with the right tools, this framework and this process, they could get such great results just doing it themselves. But up until now, the only option is work with me and spend tens of thousands of dollars. So I want to call it the one-page recruitment plan, and that is what I want to build to share.
One-page recruitment or improvement plan? Sorry.
No, recruitment. One-page recruitment plan. I actually do have it like graphically on one page, but there's so much detail that goes, onto each little bit that's on the page, and there's a lot of steps that need to be taken.
Okay, great. Just to do a little bit of more architecture exploration, as we're building out this product, one of the needs to make this to the world for free, or am I going to gate it? And if I'm going to gate it, is it still going to be free but allow me to capture an email, or am I trying to actually generate some revenue from it?
So this would be something I would sell.
You'd sell it.
So I would gate it and sell it.
Okay.
I haven't 100% decided on the price point yet, but it's going to be affordable for sure. I've just got a couple of other strategic things that I need to just line up before I decide.
Okay, great. So we can use a little bit of placeholder for that. Okay, and then have you begun building out this jaunt board on our platform, or are we starting from scratch today?
Starting from scratch.
Starting from scratch. All right, Fletcher, why don't you go ahead and walk.
Yeah, well, Nicole, I was thinking if you have any other wordsmithing for this recruitment plan to help build powerful teams that share your vision, what else would you want to put in here? Just so we initially, obviously, we can refine it once we get there. But what's a good prompt you think to get this one started?
Share your vision. Maybe change it to your. Well, it sounds like Meqa has a very specific process in mind, but it will be interesting to see what AI proposes in comparison.
It sure will.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't overthink this.
Yep. Okay.
Let's just go
Let's
ahead
do
and
it.
generate it. Takes about 20 seconds for it to build an AI empowered board. It'll be we'll start with getting your reaction.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting. I have tried to use ChatGPT. I've got the paid version, and I have tried to build a few other things with AI. But what I find is because the methodology that I've created is so different from the one that's out there, that's the standard sort of process that people go through, I'm constantly having to just like forget about it and just do my own thing from scratch because it just doesn't get what I'm trying to do. And I'm probably just not a very good prompt engineer either.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so let's take a look at this, and Meqa, just feel free to respond out loud to it. I mean, what are some things that overlap? What is AI missing that a real human with expertise like yourself?
Yeah, so let's have a look. So team evaluation, visual alignment, target candidate profile, sourcing strategy, employer branding, screening selection, assessment tools, cultural fit, offer management, onboarding plan, leadership support. I'd say there's a fair bit of good stuff in there at a high level.
Awesome.
But the reason that I developed my process the way that I did is because I was a member of this awesome business accelerator called Dent, run by the guys that wrote Key Person of Influence and those oversubscribed and those kind of books. And one of the things that they taught us very first up was you actually need to have some idea of what are the key mistakes that people make in your industry, in trying to achieve the result that you deliver. And you need to actually create a methodology that fixes those mistakes. And that is actually then your bridge that takes them from the pain to the promise. So I actually have 5 pillars because one of the problems that I found is, people just jump into execution. And even if they have this, there's a whole bunch of pre-work and thinking and understanding that they just haven't done, which is critical. So my 5 pillars, I can tell you what they are if you want me to tell you.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'm gonna try a few things. And can you you called it Dent? Is there a blog? Is there a place that kind of describes what that is? I can actually take that URL, put it in here, so it'll take learnings from it and incorporate it into this process.
Yeah, probably Dent Global. I'm guessing. I think that's their website if you put it in. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And yeah, I'll look while you're talking, but they have actually like this has a lot of good content in it, so this might help. But we can actually bring it in and say, hey, reference this, and infuse our process with learnings from this.
Well, I don't know if we want to do that, but I mean, we can try. But what the gist was behind the process is that they actually teach these. They teach you that to build this value canvas, to build everything off around. So my 5 pillars are paradigm, people, pitch.
Sorry, paradigm IGM.
Oh yeah, I'm a terrible speller as well. Yeah, paradigm, people, pitch, packaging, and process. And then each of those actually has a whole bunch of stuff underneath it that we need to do. And then it's packaged up into like at the higher level above them in terms of a process. We've got 3 stages, then the pillars sit underneath them, and then underneath the pillars is all the action steps.
Okay. It might make more sense. Maybe we just start building it in that way. I feel like your methodology, you're like 5 steps ahead of where people usually are. So maybe we just go in and we start rearranging this. I'm going to go in and edit our phases and milestones. Yeah. And sounds like there's.
Sorry.
No, it sounds like there's 3 phases. I like to do a little thing here, just kind of a hack. I like to do a little phase breakup, and as long as you don't have any milestones in that, it just makes a nice little header. I'm gonna bring this guy up to the top.
So this is where I got a little bit stuck when I actually started to try and build this myself before, because I've got the pillars and the stages, and I was like, okay, when I put the phases in and then I put the pillars in, then I was like, wait, now I can't drill down too much more below the pillars. Maybe it's just because I wasn't understanding it. So that's what I'm keen to look at today, right? So yeah, there's 3 phases. So
let's do a new phase here. And this one's
phases.
What was that first one again?
So the
Paradigm,
first
right?
phase is actually called, no, that's one of the pillars. So the first phase is actually called Get Talent Ready.
Got it.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Then the second phase is actually called Inspire. So INSP-hire.
Higher.
Got it.
Higher, yeah.
The play on words.
That's it.
That's clever. It's hard. I think it's hard to hear with the compression on the microphone, but yeah, got it. Cool.
And then the last phase is create engagement beyond reason.
Cool.
That's it.
Okay, 3 phases. Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, sweet. So now, looking at our first phase, what's going to happen? What are the
pillars
groups underneath? Yeah, phase 1.
So the pillars in phase 1 are paradigm, people.
I wonder if we'll create these, and each one of those has multiple things to it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Paradigm. Okay, so I'm going to just create these as separate ones. Okay, and people.
And pitch. And that's it pretty much. Actually, I sort of debate with myself where packaging sits, but I would probably put packaging in with process, so I put that into the Inspire part.
Okay, awesome.
I'm sorry, can you delete the E off of paradigm? It'll make me feel so much better. Thank you.
All right, so now on paradigm, let's just put a couple items in there, and then we'll rearrange this and see how it's looking already. Is there any the previously made that we could drag in there, or let's just create from scratch, right?
Yeah, probably just easier to start from scratch. So within the paradigm piece, this is where I would do, like I do at workshop, reframing recruitment, and that depending on how big the team is or what the project is, it can just be one-on-one or it could be with the team. We do assessments. So we need to make sure we understand who people are and what they're actually doing. And that's pretty much that, I would say, for paradigm, in terms of major steps. Because what we're trying to do there is actually just make sure that we've got the right understanding of what we're trying to actually achieve here in the end result. And there's a whole bunch of philosophical stuff that, about the way the world has shifted and what we're actually trying to do in a founder-led business versus a corporate, and just trying to get them to understand that, this is a partnership. It's not a command and control, and all the reasons why that is the case, and then getting them to understand themselves better so that they can then, from there, we move forward to understanding other people better.
Okay. We can just hit the high ends and then we'll kind of rearrange
it. Yeah. We won't need to drill down too much, but then with the people piece, so the people piece is about doing assessments on the rest of the team, as well as doing survey for the rest of the team, which we won't go into a lot of detail about that, but we need to know where people are at and how they are fitting into the current roles that they have. This is also about getting the rest of the team on the same page, because so it's like a vision alignment thing. Having them actually know what what you're actually on about and what you actually want them to do. So at that people point, it probably just sense checking that because it's probably not there, and then we'll have to come back and do the alignment piece. Then the pitch, we actually need to know what value are we actually offering.
Okay.
And that comes into the sort of tangible, the intangible. We have to know the vision, we have to know the values, we have to know all that stuff. So I don't know how we want to break that down, but probably like, vision, I'd say we need to know values. We need to know like what I call it, like, you know, the other sort of perks, I guess, and benefits. And then we need to know what we're asking for as well. Like, what are our expectations? Yeah, that's probably good enough for now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna just delete the previously created ones that they put in, unless there's any you want us to keep from the AI.
No, yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we just can scoot these around a little faster. All right.
Yeah.
So phase 2, I'm gonna drop that below pitch. And phase 3, I'm gonna drop to the bottom as well. Okay, phase 1, 2, and 3. I'm just gonna hit finish editing. I'm just gonna show you real quick what this is looking like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can see when you don't have milestones.
Nice. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, acts kind of more as a chapter title. And actually, we could even go in and.
That's so good. That's what I was trying to get it to do.
Cool.
Before, but I didn't know that was a thing. So that's so good.
Cool. So then, yeah, paradigm,
perfect.
Workshop assessment, people, team assessment, team survey, vision, assignment, pitch, vision, value, works.
Cool. Great. Okay. So now, before we go any further, quickly, let's say under workshop, there was like 3 or 4 or even 5 things that we needed to do. Like, you know, got to get these people's email addresses, got to align the calendars, got to do this thing, got to, you know, all the things that you got to do. Is that where you, add documents?
So we're going to go in and we can edit the milestone. We can actually add in a description here. You can put in return and stuff. However, a lot of times you'll actually want to collect that maybe in like a spreadsheet or something. So what I found that works the best is actually build out what that workshop worksheet looks like, and then just link it in here. So it would be
perfect. Okay.
That
great. Okay.
Yeah,
so that keeps it simple.
Yeah. The other thing that I would add is like, there's a ton of project management tools on the market, and they're designed to get in the weeds, right? Email this person, collect, We are not that. We are a layer above everything. So if at any point you actually want to integrate Monday.com or Asana and manage the details, you could do that. And then you can just link to your Asana project from Jaunt boards. But this is really designed that high level 50,000 foot view, and also create a structure that keeps clients out of the weeds, feeling like
I was going to say it's more for back end stuff that you need that. It's not for the clients to sort of have that so much detail. Obviously the stuff that's for them, we could just link down below and be, you know, like have a milestone, which is like, you know, complete questionnaire or attend workshop or whatever it might be. So that they can just see what they have to do. But what I was also interested in asking about, like, as we're sort of getting through this, we could maybe just leave it there with the high level stuff and drill down on a few lower level things. It's how do I assign tasks? Like when you're going through this with somebody, how does let's say for example, this is a product that I'm selling, right? So somebody buys this and they want to know how to do it. Like, how do they know if it's a client thing or a hiring manager thing or a them thing, or, you know, how do we assign that stuff?
Absolutely. No, it's a great question. So let's pretend like, you know, obviously we're going to continue to work through. We'll do the other 2 phases. Let's pretend this is all finished.
Yeah. I can do that as well.
Yeah. A few things we're going to do. One, we're going to want to come back. This is just saved as a draft, right? We've been working on that here. Here's that draft, Powerful Team Recruitment. We're going to move our board over to your services. What that does is makes them now available here on your service page. So if I go back to, you know, viewing your services here, you're going to actually see that one show up here, right? So this is
beautiful.
Where people can kind of get a sense of what kind of things you do. They're going to jump in and learn more. They're just going to read about it. They'll probably have links to examples of each of these outputs. And then we're going to put together in a bit, but you also have a call to action at the bottom. So that's great.
Okay.
So then your question is, how do we activate this now? How do we turn that into an active, project that you're doing? So the way you do that is, again, on your view here, you can see at the top here, you can either start this as a proposal. So let's say you're actually, again, I know you're going to sell this as something they can do, but let's say you're actually looking.
But I still will be using it when I do it with clients as well.
Yep, exactly. So you could start a proposal if you're actually trying to win the work. You can build a proposal, but it sounds like actually you'll already have the client. So you'll hit start project. You're going to put in here, a logo to whatever company you're doing that for. I'm just going to grab an example real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, we're going to do it for Bank of America, and we're going to do whatever you'll say this the January, whatever you want to call this. Actually, what would you call a project if you started, doing this?
I'd usually name it like the client and the role title. So so say like Bank of America EA or something, or Copilot.
There we go. Let's do Copilot for now. All right, we'll hit create. So what this does is it takes that template, right? This is the thing you do over and over again, and now it duplicates it and creates a version of it running. This is for Bank of America.
Great.
And in this, you can kind of customize it a little bit, right? So we're no longer changing that original template. Let's say they know that they actually want to, make specific changes to certain phases here. They want to change, and they want, they want to actually do this value thing or something. You can go through and actually mark some of these. So you can say, okay, this workshop is going to be, we're going to skip that, and the assessment is actually going to be client provided. And so, as well as go in and change the phases completely.
Yeah, awesome. So they might say, "Oh, we've already done that work. We don't want to do it." We've already got that information, whatever the case may be. Okay, great. So that's super awesome. Can we play with pretending that I'm trying to win the work?
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna finish editing this one, and let's go back in, and let's say, do you want to do it for the same one, the powerful team recruitment?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So instead of the project, we're going to start a proposal instead. We are a limit here. Give me just 1 second. Actually, what I can do is just go in and so on the plan you're on, you can have up to 5 concurrent projects, active projects, or sorry, up to 3. So we have those 3 in here. So I'm just going to archive this to make
delete that one. Yeah.
Yep. Great. Okay. So back at it, move in here. We're going to hit start our proposal. The same idea. We're going to put in our logo. This one will be for Chase. Copilot. And hit create. So what's it going to do is it's similar, but there's going to be a few changes to the layout here. So one, you actually have a space to put in a proposal deck. So if you have like some supplementary materials or a deck that you put in, you just paste that the link in there, and then actually embeds it so they can view it right there. It's really nice. It's basically your voiceover in the room without you having to be there. And then again, now these drop downs are a little different. We go from required, optional, client provided, and skip. So this is also that opportunity to customize, your template into something that specifically Chase is asking for. So you can add in those things, and then between all of those, you hit finish editing. And this, by the way, your proposal URL. So if you share this with your client, you can either invite them directly to it, which usually it's set with anyone with a link, or you can only invite people. So it's a little bit more closed down if they're afraid of privacy. But this URL is nice. It's the same URL from proposal to case study. So if the client says, hey, we love this proposal, we're excited to do it, you just hit this button and say start project. And that converts it over to now what you saw before, which is that in project.
Yeah, perfect.
Now it goes to not started. You complete those, you upload the files as they become completed. And then, when you're finally at the end and everything's been approved or completed, you click this button and say, hey, complete and create a case study. In that case, it puts the finishing touches on it. Now you have this nice lockup where you show, hey, this unforgettable agency, this Copilot program has been done by Chase. and you can actually hide or show the milestones. If some of them are more proprietary or have personal information, you can just hide those. And again, though, the client the entire time has that same link, and so they can see it go from proposal to case study.
Okay, great. And for them to actually sign in, so I tried it with a client, because I've got these in progress projects, and he literally could not join. Like, he couldn't log in because of the type of email addresses that he has and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, so what do I have to do different?
Yeah, he doesn't need to sign in actually. So he'll, if you paste any of these URLs to him, it'll actually understand that he's not logged in and he's just viewing it as a client, and actually goes to a client view of each one of these stages. So here you can see this is the client view of that case study. So it removes some of those like he can't upload a file, he can't do edits and change your layout or change the different things. So this URL again, he does not need to be a member. You just share that URL with anyone and he'll be able to view it.
Right. But so the share button is only for like people in your team that you want to share it with?
Well, share button lets you copy that URL. I mean, you can just copy it from the top though, obviously.
Right, because that is, weirdly enough, that is actually what I did.
You just copy this top usually. However, it also lets you bring in more security. So right now we have anyone with a link can view it. So anyone can view that. But if you want to, you can say only people invited to this jump board. In that case, they would have to create a jump board account to access and view this. But a lot of people don't do that. They just copy this URL and paste it over.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. It makes it much easier. Awesome. And now, let's say, for example, we've finished this, and now I want to put this one-page recruitment plan out there to the world. And we said we were going to gate it and put some kind of fee on it. How would we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. So you're going to come up here. You're going to go to gate content. So we're back on that template, the original template here. We click in, we say gate this content, and you can switch between email or have it be paid. And paid, you just have to set up. It doesn't take long, but you can set it up through Stripes because they're going to actually make payments through that. And then you set your amount. And then from then on, anyone who's viewing it, so I'll change it back to email, hit gate.
Yeah.
On this view, you just see a little lock icon on it. However, on their view, when they log in on the public side, it's going to have a big unlock with email. Actually, because we're still logged in, it's still you, and it knows that it's you. But they would actually see, they wouldn't be able to open up and read the details underneath each of these. They would only see your phases and the different stages that you take the milestones, as well as a grayed out link. So it's nice. It kind of exposes like the different documents that you have connected to this so that they kind of get excited. And then obviously there's that CTA at the bottom, which we can go back and look at. So they could just reach out to you if they want to do it personally, or just hit unlock with email and then they have access to it.
Or unlock for $500.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever So how would you add that CTA?
Yeah, let's go do that real quick. Good question. All right, so I'm back just at our board here. I'm going to go back in to edit phases and milestones. And when we're in this view, I scroll to the bottom here, and there's a few options where I can add a new phase and I can add a new CTA. So here it looks like one's already been created for you. So you can just select that one. What's nice about this is if you create one and you want to put it on all of your job board templates, you don't have to recreate it every time. You just build it once, you point it at that. And then also if you make edits to this one, it gets updated across all the ones that you're using that. So you just select the one you want and hit add, and then it pops down at the bottom there.
And you can have multiple CTA buttons. So you could, one button could allow someone to send you an email if they're more comfortable. The other button could link straight to your Calendly so they can show up right on your calendar and actually have a call with you.
Amazing.
There you go.
That sounds fantastic. Then, because I'm thinking like I'm benefiting so much from this, but I'm thinking these questions are probably going to be helping other people too. So what do I do if I want to, so we've got the client view, so that's amazing. And then we've linked back to like any of our internal documents or, things like that would be things that we would have to check off as we're going. But we've also got obviously teams that we're going to be, whether they're remote, whether they're contractors, whether they're like permanent members of our team that are going to have to be delivering on different parts of this process. How do you work that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So up here in your company settings, you're going to go to members. Now you are on, I think, the middle tier. And so for that middle tier, it is just one seat. You can buy
It's just me.
seats a la carte, or also on the organization, you get 15 seats with that cost. So from here, you'll basically add in their email and then hit send invite. And you can make them team members. Team members can basically view and manage the already created processes. Process admin can actually create new processes and do any of the other items. And then owner has access all the way down into your billing info.
Okay, great. That makes so much sense. And so once you've got the team, then you can invite them. They show up somewhere as options.
Yep, they'll get an email.
Assign.
They'll actually get an email that says, "Hey, you've been invited to this thing." They'll hit okay, and then they'll go in. And when they log in, they'll see your team has been invited. They'll hit accept, and they'll come right in. They'll see the same view here, like you are, where they're gonna, okay, I see, the things you've built. They can either start creating their own drafts or building these out and helping kind of create that experience.
Okay, and let's say so I really do have a graphic design contractor. So she comes in and helps me with the design for the different collateral and stuff like that. At the moment, we just use Trello, and I just dump everything in there. Would I create a job board for the graphic design process that I want her to follow? And then, that's obviously an internal one, and then be sharing that with her and have her come in and set that up as a project?
Yeah, so there's a few ways. It's actually interesting you're talking about this. Right now, when you want to have internal processes that don't actually get ever showed or exposed on your public view, right? That's going to be embedded on your website and stuff like that. Yeah. Right now, we just suggest keeping them as drafts. So just leave them in this draft view because those don't show up on your services basically. But you can do the same thing. You can see you have 2 drafts in here. So assume one of those was your graphic design process. You can do the same thing. You can start a proposal or start up a project from that template, basically. So, another thing you could do is actually just create directly. So you don't always have to start as a template. So when we actually first launched Jump Boards, we knew the process should be, hey, create a template, then take that template and turn it into a process or a project or a case study. However, we've realized the usefulness of just this view of having these phases and steps. A lot of people don't need it to be a template at first. So let's say you just wanted your graphic designer to build you a logo or something right off the bat. You can actually go straight and just create an active project or create a proposal and skip the whole template thing. And then what's really nice is once you've done that, you can, let's say you create a case study or a few case studies, or you create a few active projects and you like how it's going. From the menu there, it would just take a second for me to jump into it. But basically, let's say this active project is one you just started as an active project. You'll have an option up at this top here. It'll be a 5th option, and it'll say create a template from this active project. So what that does is it takes everything you put in here, pulls it over, and then puts it into your drafts where you can continue to edit or bring it over to your services. So you can work from any starting point. If you just want to create active projects or proposals, prove them for a while before you decide, let's definitely use that as a consistent service that we offer.
Yeah, great. Amazing. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're welcome.
That's been so helpful. My mind is now working on overtime to figure out all the options.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the idea of building a jaunt board as a service versus a product, because I think there's a couple of distinctions that we learned at Jumpsuit that I think might be helpful. And actually, Fletcher, maybe the best way to visualize this is, could you pull up Jumpsuit's jaunt board? You just even go to our homepage. You don't need to go into our back end or anything.
Sure.
There you go. Okay, so if you, perfect. Click into production. All right, and then click on live action video. So what we're looking at here, Meqa, is Jumpsuit's process for shooting a live action video, something like a digital commercial or a broadcast commercial, right? So this allows us, just like you, to be able to say, here's all the things that we do in this process. It'll help us create a clear scope of work, all of that. This process in particular is so proprietary. There's so much nuance that is in our lead producer's head that
Yeah.
I was like, I actually need to productize this and not just offer it as a service. I need to spend time with
Yeah.
Emily. That's specifically who it is on my team. I need to spend time with Emily, and I want her to go through every single milestone and teach our team everything she knows, every template she uses, every form she uses, every contract. I need that all in one place. Now, that's not something I'm going to show the client or like offer, you know what I mean?
No.
But so I went through a whole separate process with her. And if you go back to Jumpsuit Services, click on Agency Toolkit, you've seen that you can see now there's certain processes we're starting to productize now. So if you click on live action production process, it's the same framework, but now it's gated. So now you can see it's grayed out. No one can actually access it until they pay us money. But what is included in it is everything that any agency would need to be able to say yes to shooting a Super Bowl commercial for Procter and Gamble or some big company, right? Because there's a lot of people who make videos, and there's a lot of production companies that would have to turn down a big opportunity because they don't know how to work with like SAG talent or something, right? So this is like the process that most people don't know how to do, and therefore we have productized it to be helpful to other agencies or production companies who want to be able to do this thing. So
beautiful. That's what I'm trying to do with that one-page recruitment plan, essentially.
Right. Yeah. So I wanted to show you the distinction. It's like you can have that template to help you scope work and then manage your projects, which is the flow we spent most of the time on. But then after you get that into place, what you get to do, or what I encourage you to do, is get on camera because you're amazing. You're a great communicator, and your energy is so palpable. And there's, I would say, go to the top, Fletcher. Make a video at the top where it's just you introducing the idea. It's big picture. It's the idea. Here's what you can. Yep, there's Emily. Basically, this is your pitch to sell in the idea, right? Why would someone pay
love it
$500 to attempt to go through this process
to get this thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. I love it. It's like a built-in landing page, sales page, VSL thing with the whole thing built without having to do tons of copywriting and like design the whole thing. It's just done.
That's right. And then you get to go through the process of every single milestone. If you are that founder trying to do this thing on their own, what do you give them? Is it a video? Is it a document? Is it a deck? Like what are you going to give them to equip them to be able to do this on their own? And
that's why it's been so hard up until now, because it's like you almost have to go to Kajabi and sign up for a Kajabi membership and like put together a mini course and then have like the worksheets and everything. But I think it feels overwhelming for people, you know, because it's not all in that one place.
Yes.
And it's a whole hell of a lot of work for me if I'm going to do that. So that's why I haven't done it, which is why I love this so much, because it's so actionable. It's so practical. You know, it's got everything built into it. It doesn't have anything it doesn't need, but it's got everything that you absolutely do need. And one of the other things that I've realized, if, you know, I don't have a large following by any stretch, which I'm going to work on, but actually none of my clients come from LinkedIn. I've never had any client work come from LinkedIn, but I have a lot of other recruiters that follow me and a lot of other talent acquisition people that follow me. And I've never been able to have anything for them, you know, and lots of people have said like, you should start a group coaching thing. And I'm like, well, that's not really what I'm doing. That's not what I'm here for. But I know that if I could do this, that's what I'm here for. Like, is actually literally equipping other people with the way to see things that I have spent like 25 years developing and refining, and like just because not only because it's a great process, but like because it actually solves big problems for them, but also for clients and also for people, talent. Like, so and I know I can't scale myself, right? Even if I was to put a group coaching program together, it's still my time that I don't have to like put the whole course together and like sell the whole thing. You know the gist. So this is so exciting.
Amazing.
So exciting.
Yeah, good. And then Fletcher, I see that you're cleaning up some things for her, but can you go back to the jumpsuit jump boards, Emily's board, please? Scroll down to the bottom. You'll see that we also have a call to action like we just showed you. Okay. So the idea here, this is what I love about being able to productize our process, is we are leading with the assumption that someone wants to be able to do this completely on their own, powered by us. But at any moment, if they get stuck, we now, as they're working through this process, we're still top of mind, right? So at any point in time, they can come back to us and say, you know what, actually, I think we do need to hire an agency to do this for us. Can you give us a proposal? Or maybe they don't need to hire us, but they have one question that'll take 30 minutes to unlock them, in which case they can book a one-on-one with Emily. And Calendly's great, right? Because we can say,
I love it.
It costs our hourly agency rate. Emily gets paid for her time. Jumpsuit gets paid for a little bit on top of that, and they get the question answered so they can continue to move forward. So this whole process creates a very flexible, collaborative way to get any job done.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's completely on demand.
Yes.
Like the help that you need, instead of having to sign up for a membership or, as you say, pay like exorbitant fees just to get that one question answered. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Like, we've talked so much on other offline conversations about what this is actually doing for people. Like, this tool is so powerful. And I can only imagine the possibilities that people are going to come up with to use it for. But yeah, it just unlocks so much like latent revenue potential as well for, a lot of people because of this feature. I think it's such a powerful way for people to get started with something and then add their own spin on it as well, which is like, I hope people do that, because I think what I've got is good, but I know that like in other people's hands, they're just going to make it better. They're going to tweak and do their own thing and put their own magic on it. So yeah, you just never know what you're helping to create in the world.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And I think as well, like there's a fear I think a lot of people have of like sharing stuff, right? Like, we all know that we've worked really hard to get our processes to where they are. And so there's a sense of like, oh, I don't want to give that away. But what we have to accept is the world that we live in now with, even just with the basic ChatGPT, AI and everything, like information is basically free. You could get this information anywhere, but it would take you a long time to cobble it together and put it together. So we just have to accept that we can be part of the solution, or we could like sit back and like try and fight it. But we have to own that our magic is what we bring to the table is unique and special. And that, our process is bespoke, or, we've created it, it's our IP, but we can still share it, but still maintain our own magic and know that we're going to do it our special own way. So it's okay to share it. Like, you're not losing if you share. It's like good for everyone.
Preach. I wish more people understood that. I really do.
That's part of what you're doing with this, isn't it? Like, educating people on like, hey, you can still keep it and do it your own way, but you can also share it.
Yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when you share it, then people learn from you and they're drawn to you energetically, and and they want to work with you. That's how business is done, right?
Yes.
And that, like, it's hard to find actual clients on LinkedIn, but like when someone loves you, they know you personally, or they get a reference from someone else, and it's easy just to like quickly be like, okay, who is Meqa, and help me imagine what it'd be like to work with her. LinkedIn doesn't do a good job at that. A resume doesn't do a good job at that. A website can or can't. But this is really designed to give people that sneak peek of like, oh, okay, now I actually have transparency and visibility into what the process would be. Yeah, exactly.
And there was I'm sure you've heard of that book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, he actually has a line where he talks about uncertainty being the greatest human stressor. Like, it provides the most stress to us as human beings. And that's why they use it in SEAL training as a technique, like not telling people what they're going to do. And so when you think about it in the context of proposals or business or selling or anything, like, that's the thing, right? That's the barrier, is people don't know, like, what they have so many questions. What is this going to look like? How many steps is it going to be? Do you know what you're doing? Like, and I actually came up with a little saying for myself the other day: no method, no money. Like if I think about back to the time when I was doing a lot of freelancing, but I had no methodology, it's like so much harder for people to say yes. And the only people who will say yes are the people who have like really big problems and no money. And they expect you to deliver like $1 million solution for $500.
Yeah.
And that is like a real quick way to depression, despair, and being broke. But if you actually have a method, like there's plenty of clients out there that they want to pay for the help. They just need to know that it's going to do what they need it to do. And you have instant credibility, as you've said, we've talked about this before. When you've got a method, it's documented, it's like, okay, boom, it's so easy to say yes. Versus the other 5 people who are waffling on with like 50-page proposals and they're very vague about shit. People don't have time for that now.
No, they just want to know, like, how can I trust you? Is this process,
has
this process helped others succeed, and is it repeatable for me? And am I going to like working with you?
Yes.
That's
it. 100%. And I think that alignment piece is so critical as well. Is like, if you can show up in a way that your client resonates with, and they're like, okay, this is for me, because I can see like the language, the way that you're presenting it, the steps, it's like resonating with the way I want to do things. Boom, they'll instantly want to work with you. And I think it's fine if people don't want to as well. Like that's a big part of it too, is like show up in a way that the wrong people to work for you, like people who aren't a fit, will easily be able to self-select out. Like nobody wants to waste their time getting on calls to talk about shit and whatever. And it's like, oh, well, actually, we're just never going to align.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. There's, clients don't just buy the best, they buy the least risky, right? And the least risky is, there's a lot of ways to do that. One, though, one of the most, I don't know, underserved way of doing it is to just showcase what your process is. And that they just show an end portfolio, but they don't really show like what's going to look like to work with me. So we're really hoping to tap into that. I wanted to show you one other feature that we are going to be rolling out here in the next month or so.
Great.
Because I think it'll be really exciting to you. So I showed you that you can embed your services as well. Here's jumpsuits. So we're managing obviously these boards over in job boards. It's nice now; they're always up to date. But what we're going to be rolling out is let's even look at this brand guidelines. Right, we've done brand guidelines. Jumpsuit has done brand guidelines for probably 10 or so companies or more, even just recently. So obviously you can click into that. You can see examples at the top of the different products that we've done that for, which is nice. Okay. But what we're going to actually embed is when you take any of these proposals and you move them through the process, the template goes into an active project, and then you turn that into a case study. You'll be able to take that logo and put it back onto the original product template card. So basically, back if I looked at yours, you would see your services. But not only would it say, hey, you do powerful team recruitments, but you've also done it for AT&T and for Chase Bank or whatever, because those logos would be proof that you've gone through this process. Yeah. So again, we're just trying to get that trust to be built, and they can click on the logo too and go to the case study and actually see not just the example of the proposal, which they can do if they click on the card, but actually that whole process in action and how it gave success to these other companies. So we're really excited about this becoming a place where you can build out your services and build trust to new clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nice.
At the end of a project, you can sit with the founder on a call like this and just record it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, and just have them, respond to what it was like to work with you, and then give you that social proof. And exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely. That video right up there. And so anyone who clicks into that case study will hear from someone else telling them they should work with you versus you telling them work with you.
That's so cool. I literally, one of the projects I finished last year was super successful. It was just one of those ones where everything just went really well. And it's gone so well that now they want me to train their HR manager to embed the process into the whole way the business operates. Which is amazing. But I did actually do that. I got video testimonial from the client, from the successful candidate, and from actually the unsuccessful candidates, which I felt like was such a massive win. To get an unsuccessful CEO candidate to volunteer their time to talk to you about your process when they did not get the job and there's nothing you can do for them. And some of the stuff these guys said was so powerful. So being able to put that into something that people can see it would be amazing. Yeah.
Very cool.
Without them having to go to 15 different places, you know?
Yeah.
Well, expect that coming your way then here in the next month or so as you build these out. And if you actually are creating the case studies off it, it's going to be really easy to link templates to the case studies that exist. And then it'll become automated just when you hit complete and create case study. It'll grab that logo, bring it back to that original card and sync everything up so they can jump over to them. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, this is so epic. Like, I mean, my mind is literally like blowing, like as we're sitting here. I've worked for a tiny agency, like as a marketing strategist, and I've worked for Saatchi's as head of people, you know, and I've worked alongside as a client a bunch of different agencies. My husband has a business, and we just last year did a rebrand and new website development, and we've got like it's a massive project. And the whole time as a client, I was thinking, oh man, I need to fix this about the way I interact with clients, or, you know, people should do this or whatever. And I feel like Jaunt Boards just solves like so many problems all at once, because it's that client experience that, like, even if the result is good, if the client experience sucks and you feel like you're swimming through concrete, it really takes away from the value that you get from working with that agency and your propensity to want to engage with them again for anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I think we get really excited about this tool because we really feel like we're the first platform to put the client experience top of mind, right? Because you wouldn't send Jira, you wouldn't send a client to Jira or Asana or anything like that, right?
No.
And what we've heard over and over again throughout the years at Jumpsuit is the reason that clients love working with Jumpsuit is because we're so transparent and collaborative. And so to be able to translate that spirit into a technology that enables that has been really exciting for us.
Yeah, 100%. Many years ago, like I'm going back to maybe 2018, 2017, something like that, I tried to use Monday with clients, you know, because you could invite them in and stuff. And it just used to completely frustrate them. And it's almost the same with Trello as well. Like, you know, they're grateful that you are providing the guidance and stuff, but they get lost in all the stuff. And it just is, it's actually taking away from the result. So even though they'll say it was amazing, you know, the result was amazing, the process was amazing, but the experience was kind of hard.
Right.
And that's what I need to fix, you know?
And that's why we're fighting to keep Jaunt Boards high level. Use a project management tool. That's great. A client understands an SOW though. They know exactly what they've hired you to do and they expect a deliverable with every single thing. And so to have the project match the scope of work, it just speaks their language.
Yeah. 100%.
I know.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. We're at time. I was going to ask you though, can you give us, maybe you don't know yet, that's okay, but I would love a sneak peek of like what you think the first several Jaunt Boards on this page is going to be.
Well, for sure.
Products or services in mind?
Yeah, well, for sure, the one-page recruitment plan, that's the major one. And then the Copilot Concierge will be the next one, because that's the like full service, done for you, very bespoke project just to hire Copilots. And there's so much nuance in doing that, that, you know, that'll be its own version. I've just finished filming a skit with a friend of mine that is a marketing strategist, and he's done like a funny series on YouTube, and it's about hiring a CMO. So when that comes out, I'll tag you, Nicole, you'll laugh. But we're actually going to do like how to hire a CMO as a giveaway at the end of the series. So I'm going to see if I can get John to agree that we can build it on here. You know, and because it's such a tough role to recruit for as well. So we need to provide something specifically for people to know how to do that. So yeah, I'm looking at doing a lot more collabs this year. So I'll probably come up with heaps of different ideas that maybe are HR manager specific or recruiter specific, or, you know, like little pieces of the project even. But yeah, I'm just really excited about the possibilities.
Yeah, very cool. I can't wait to watch you build all this stuff.
I can't wait to find the time to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for your time, Meqa. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't hesitate to reach out if we, you know, can help you. We would love to hop back on a call and help propel you. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Amazing. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.